Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel where today, yes, we have to talk about what happened yesterday to the Green Bay Packers as their 11-game win streak against the Chicago Bears came to an end in a disappointing factor as the Packers were fighting for playoff seeding to potentially give themselves an easier path to the Super Bowl, but instead, the team decided to lay a giant egg. And even with all the struggles we had, we still almost won this game. It's a testament to how bad the Bears can be. But instead, we lost 24-22. And there is an absolute crap ton to talk about with this game. But before we get into that, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It is the new year, new goals. So your subscription will mean a lot to me. So first, we're going to go over the scoring summary, team stats, box score, and my overall vibes from this game I'm going to go over at the end, as well as my 3 stars of the game, which isn't really going to be that impressive. So scoring summary, started off in the first quarter with Josh Blackwell, 94-yard punt return touchdown, where the Bears just completely faked out the Packers' punt coverage team. DJ Moore faking the catch and Blackwell running it all the way for 94 yards. Inexcusable what happened there. So yeah, did not get off to a great start for the Packers. The Packers were able to get a field goal with Brandon McManus at the 37-yarder. DeAndre Swift got a 4-yard touchdown rush to make it 14-3 Chicago after a Jaden Reed fumble. But the Packers were able to get back in with a Josh Jacobs 9-yard touchdown rush and a Brandon McManus 30-yard field goal to make it 14-13 Chicago. No scoring in the third quarter, but in the fourth quarter, DJ Moore got a 32-yard screen pass from Caleb Williams where the defense just took bad angles and with a 21-13 lead. Packers got within 2 after Emmanuel Wilson 21-yard touchdown rush, but the 2-point conversion failed, which is the key note here, 21-19 Chicago. The Packers, with 54 seconds left, got a 55-yard field goal by Brandon McManus to go 22-21, but terrible clock management by Matt LaFleur, who called a timeout where there is still about 20 seconds left on the play clock, led the Bears having enough time to get it within field goal range after some pretty questionable play calling by the defense and a 15-yard horse collar tackle penalty as well. Led to the Bears getting revenge on their previous loss to Green Bay with a 51-yard field goal by Cairo Santos. The final score of 24-22. Overall team stats here, the Packers had 20 first downs compared to the Bears 16. 7 for 14 for third down for Chicago, 3 for 10 for Green Bay. Packers had 367 total yards compared to 224 for the Bears. 12 total yards for Green Bay, 11 for the Bears. 6 yards per play for the Packers, 3.9 for the Bears. Packers had more yards passing, even with getting more sacks. There was an interception thrown by Keenan Allen. Yes, you heard that right. Keenan Allen threw an interception. We had way more rushing yards as well. Same amount of penalties, and we had the time of possession and equal turnover battle. Yeah, the Packers did not play well this game. So, box score here, you'll see up here that Malik Willis actually led us in passing with 10 of 13 for 136 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions, 3 sacks for 21 yards, including one where he got absolute popped and by a guy who was completely unblocked, did not feel him at all, and lost the ball for a fumble. Jordan Love, 7 for 12, 69 yards, left the game early with an elbow injury. Looks like it is just a stinger, so he should be good to go next week against Philadelphia. Rushing was very good for the Packers. Emmanuel Wilson led us with 14 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. Chris Brooks, 8 for 59. Josh Jacobs, 6 for 44, and a touchdown as well. Overall, running game was very, very effective. I was surprised we didn't go for it more throughout this whole game. But we got a 3-headed monster with Jacobs, Brooks, and Wilson, so very good job there. Receiving, Malik Heath actually led us 3 for 53, no touchdowns. Wicks 5 for 49, Reed 2 for 48, including a fumble that was devastating. Kraft 4 for 36, Musgrave 1 for 19, and Jacobs 1 for 2. And Christian Watson had 1 target this whole game, but he went down in the second quarter with a non-contact injury. And we just found out this morning, that it is a torn ACL, costing him the rest of this season and potentially all of 2025 as well. I just feel absolutely devastated for him, as this guy has never been able to stay healthy, and it sucks so much. Because when he's on the field, he is a difference maker for the Packers. But, yeah, and next year's a contract year. If he can't go, that's going to devastate his potential to get additional contract. I just feel for the guy. One of my favorite players. I got his jersey because my wife's maiden name is Watson of him, but it just absolutely sucks. Malik Willis had a fumble, lost it. Jaden Reed lost a fumble. Matt Orchek had a fumble after he had a ball go over Daniel Whelan's head, but Whelan was able to recover it and make the punt. Edrin Cooper had a fumble recovery after McKinney fumbled on an interception, and Javon Buller had a fumble recovery as well after the Packers forced a fumble there off of DJ Moore. Defense, Cooper led us in total tackles 7, total tackles 4, solo 1 tackle for loss. Keyshawn Nixon had a couple of tackles for loss. He had a pretty good game there. Keaton Oladapo made his debut, 5 total tackles. Javon Buller had a TFL. Brooks had a TFL. Rashawn Gary had a sack and a TFL. Slayton had a TFL as well. Overall, we were able to generate some pretty good pressure on Caleb Williams. In general, was pretty solid against the screen, except for the 32-yard touchdown pass to DJ Moore, who got the pass there. Xavier McKinney got his 8th interception out the year after Keenan Allen decided to throw it right to him on a trick play. Brandon McManus, perfect field goals, 3 for 3, long of 55 yards as well. So shout him out. Shout out Daniel Whelan as well. After that high snap, was able to recover and make a good punt to prevent a bad situation from getting worse there. So for the Bears, Caleb Williams 21 for 29, 148 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Did get sacked once, pretty much dink and dunk all game long. Packers able to pretty much keep the Bears' run game in check, averaging 3.2 yards per carry. You accept that. And so, yeah, I mean, the thing I have to say here, the Packers just beat themselves with dumb mistakes. The special teams made a big error on that punt return, not knowing what was happening at all there. And that put us in the hole early. And see, that was a big difference maker there because the defense generally played well. And the offense, for the majority of the game, just played scared. It was super, super conservative out of Matt LaFleur today. And I don't know if it was the Jordan Love injury, but even then it was very conservative there. But it's just, this team did not look ready for the playoffs. They didn't. And that comes down to a lot of coaching on the offense and special teams and defense there at the end of the game. And Matt, what are you thinking? Taking that timeout when you can kick a field goal. McManus can hit it. And instead, you let the Bears have 20 additional seconds on the clock. You should have just ran that play clock down, called the timeout, and then kicked the field goal to minimize the chances for the Bears to win the game. Because all they need is a field goal. And going back to the defense on that last drive, because the defense in general played well enough to win this game. They didn't give it that punt return touchdown. They had a short field on another Bears touchdown there after a fumble. They only did really bad on that DJ Moore reception for a touchdown. In general, if the offense just did its job, the defense would not have been in that situation. But still, how in the world do you do that? Especially on that 3rd down and 10 to get within field goal range for the Bears. They were playing like they needed a touchdown to win the game. We had Xavier McKinney and Keaton Oladapo 30 yards away from the line of scrimmage, 10 yards away from the first down marker, and guess what? Gave up a 13-yard pass reception that put the Bears in field goal range, and we didn't get the miracle we did last time. And it was very, very, very sloppy football here today, and I was pissed. And I think every Packers fan should be pissed as well, because this is not the team you want to see heading into the playoffs these past 2 weeks. A bunch of dumb mistakes, a bunch of slow starts on offense when the defense tries to has been holding his own. But as soon as the offense gets going a little bit, the defense falls apart. That's been it for the past 2 weeks. And now we're playing Philadelphia in the playoffs. And I am scared because Philly is a good team. The only thing we hope is that their guys are very, very rusty on offense. Because that's the only way we can counter what crap we have here. Because Jordan Love got banged up here, but he should be good. But we lost Christian Watson, who is an X factor for this offense. People are wondering, oh, why did he put him in the game? Why did he put him in the game? Because he should have been good to go, and you want to get him some reps heading into the playoffs. That's why. How was we supposed to know that he was going to blow up his knee on a non-contact play? That's just the injury risk you run here. But I do think the Packers will put a better effort against the Eagles next Sunday, but we'll see. So now on to my stars of the game. One I got to shout out here. I got to shout out Xavier McKinney getting his 8th interception of the year. Been an absolute difference maker for the Packers this entire year. Really helped the Packers defense become a top 10 unit, because even after that gap, they're still a pretty solid defense. So shout out to him. Had a pretty good game as well. Got to shout out Emmanuel Wilson and Chris Brooks. These guys have been tantamount in keeping this offense running when Josh Jacobs needs to go out for a rest. But both these guys were undrafted free agent pickups for the Packers. Brooks off of the Dolphins squad, Emmanuel Wilson off of last year. And Wilson had a great year, getting over 500 rushing yards this year, really solidifying themselves as the Packers' second back here. And Brooks has done a lot of good things here. Gotta shout out those guys as well. And I gotta shout out the Packers' offensive line as well, because they, again, blocked their butts off for this run game. One of the best run blocking lines in all of football. So, yeah, I gotta shout those guys up front as well. And so, yeah, the Packers ended up finishing third in division at 11-6. They are the 7th seed in the playoffs and are traveling to Philadelphia next Sunday at 4:30 to take on the Eagles. It is going to be a tough game there. They can win it, but I would not bet on it, because this team has proven itself to be very, very sloppy, and it just sucks. But hey, we made the playoffs for the second year in a row. It's just that NFC is completely stacked this year. So we'll see if the Packers make any noise. But thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you again very soon. Peace.